Hey there, welcome to Jackie Talks Horror. I'm Jackie, and today I'm going to be taking a longer look into one of the films I mentioned in my coming in March and April video, Lee Cronin's The Mummy, coming to cinemas on April the 17th. So in this video, I'll be having a look at what we know about the film so far, what the teaser trailer that recently dropped may tell us about the tone and visuals of the film, some of the hype surrounding it, and some final thoughts. Just a quick heads up, I'll be using images and trailers from the film in this video, and there'll be links to any trailers and articles I use in the description below. Alright, so let's jump in. Here's the premise and what we know so far about the film. According to IMDb, the premise is a young daughter disappears in the desert. 8 years later she's returned, but the joyful family reunion turns into a living nightmare. Lee Cronin's The Mummy, to give it its full title, is written and directed by Lee Cronin, who also wrote and directed Evil Dead Rise from 2023. And instead of the action-heavy big-budget style of the previous adaptations, it looks like it's going to be another full-on R-rated family nightmare body horror from him. The cast includes Jack Rayner as Katie's father, Leah Costa as Charlie's wife and Katie's mother, Natalie Grace as a returned Katie, as well as Meg Callumway and Veronica Falcone. Speaking about the project, director Lee Cronin said, "This will be unlike any mummy movie you've ever laid your eyeballs on before. I'm digging deep into the earth to raise something very ancient and frightening." And producers James Wan and Jason Blum have also praised Cronin's approach. James Wan called Cronin a gifted filmmaker in the world of horror, whose storytelling has electrified audiences, while James Blum said, "He has an intriguing, modern take on something quite ancient that I think audiences will love." With the premise laid out, the next big question is what the teaser hints at, so let's take a look. The teaser trailer dropped not long after I did my coming in March-April video. It didn't give much away in terms of plot or story, as they pad out the trailer with showing the creative team's credentials, but the fragments and flashes of the film's footage that they do show do the heavy lifting. The trailer is based around an autopsy of a mummy, with the slow reveal of bandages being removed, showing the desiccated body, which happens to have some very unsettling fingernails. These sequences really set the atmosphere and suggest the film is going to be a slow burn body horror. The autopsy is spliced with a photographer taking pictures of the body. All the while, there are chants in the background suggesting some kind of ritual. There's a mix of grainy old cinematography, which reminded me of the ritual scenes from Bring Her Back, to bright shots of a photographer snapping photos of the mummy. There's definitely some quick, sharp, disturbing images too with the flashes. A scorpion is near someone's head, and later a bug crawls out of a mummified mouth. Another sign that Cronin is leaning more into visceral skin-crawling horror than pulpy monster action. Finally, the teaser leaves us with the reminder of the movie's tagline, "What happened to Katie?" which suggests the Katie that returns is not the same person that vanished. Finally, Cronin added a small Easter egg on X, formerly known as Twitter, a short Morse-coded message which fans decoded as, "In ancient Egyptian civilization, dark spirits and visions of the dead were never an illusion. Some that passed over were gone forever, but an unlucky few were consumed by a darkness far more evil than anyone could have imagined. Today that begins." And it caught the attention of a few people following the teaser closely, so let's have a look at what was happening online around the rollout. So, online, fans are calling it visceral and full-on horror mode, and describing it as Poltergeist meets Seven, both films I love and a lot, so I think that bodes well. There are reports surrounding test screenings suggesting that there are hard-to-stomach scenes, and people walked out due to extreme gore and violence. One rumour included a scorpion, and since we see one in the trailer, that claim at least seems plausible. However, none of these screening reports or specific walkout claims have ever been officially confirmed by Warner Brothers or Blumhouse, or the filmmakers. We do know that it will be full-on R-rated, and Lee Cronin may even have upped the gore from Evil Dead Rise, but I think that may be a plus for some horror fans. Other rumours around 2025 were saying the name will be changed to The Resurrected, in order to distance itself from the earlier movies. And I did see something about that name change while I was researching for the earlier video which mentioned the mummy. But I feel they may not bother with that now, as there are more recent articles stating there will be no name change and it's getting so near the release date. Another rumour suggested James Wan walked out of a test screening he was in, but that has been reportedly refuted by Warner Brothers Pictures, and I find it hard to believe that the producers would not have seen the film before it was sent to test screenings. So before we finish up, I want to share where I'm currently landing with the film. I like Lee Cronin's directing in Evil Dead Rise, as did a lot of horror fans, so I think people will be flocking to see this, and the publicity regarding the extreme elements will only attract attention, as we know that hearing that a film is so brutal people walked out is a box office magnet. So I think this may do well if early reviews don't suggest other issues with the film. Either way, I'm going to be watching it, as although I loved those first two Mummy films with Brendan Fraser in, but with a name like The Mummy, I do think it leans more towards a horror take, and Lee Cronin seems like he's got the knack for family horror, and testing the limits of what fans can tolerate in terms of gore, so I think this one could be awesome. If you're curious about a darker, R-rated take on the Mummy mythos, this teaser suggests it's worth keeping your eye on, so mark your calendars for the 17th of April when it hits cinemas. Okay, so that's all for this video. What did you think of the teaser trailer? Did you get something out of it that I missed? Do leave your comments down below, and remember, this is only my opinion of the film, and it'd be a boring old world if we all like the same things. Thanks so much for watching, and if you like this video, don't forget to click like, subscribe, and click that bell so you don't miss what's coming next on this channel. This is Jackie signing off, take care, and see you next time.